Weirdest bans in NBA history. The NBA is known for its incredible players, epic games, and intense rivalries. But did you know that the league has also had some pretty bizarre rules over the years? In this video, we're going to explore the weirdest bans in NBA history that left players and fans scratching their heads. From banned sneaker colors to the prohibition of towels on the head, you won't believe the strange rules that have been enforced. Get ready to learn about the most peculiar and interesting regulations that have shaped the game we know and love today. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the weirdest bans in NBA history. Number 1. The NBA was going through a transitional stage in the late 1970s. The league was attempting to establish itself as a genuine professional sports league after merging with the rival American Basketball Association, ABA, in 1976. A focus on player dress, as well as a fresh emphasis on professionalism, were all parts of this endeavor. The length of the players' shorts was one part of their outfit that drew criticism. Many athletes at the period wore relatively short shorts, with some even showing their thighs. Some players in the league thought this was unprofessional and that longer shorts would have been more appropriate. Shorts that were shorter than 1 inch above the knee were prohibited by the NBA's new dress code, which was put into effect in 1979. Some players felt that the decision was contentious because it imposed an unwanted limit on their individual style. Short shorts were nevertheless prohibited for a few years until it was finally acknowledged as the rule. NBA shorts today often end far below the knee. Some players even choose to wear lengthier shorts that extend to the mid-calf. The NBA's short shorts restriction was ultimately a minor but crucial turning point in its history, reflecting the league's continued efforts to position itself as a professional sports league. Number 2. Brightly colored sneakers posed a fresh threat to the NBA's professional image in the 1980s. League authorities were worried that players' flamboyant footwear was detracting from the game and the league's professional image when they started to wear it on the court. In response, the NBA introduced a new dress code that forbade the wearing of distractingly bright or colorful shoes. The rule was met with a variety of responses from players, some of whom felt it imposed an unjustified limit on their own preferences. The sneaker color prohibition, however, was in place for a while because the NBA was insistent that maintaining a professional appearance was essential to the league's success. When the league's regulations on shoe color loosened throughout time, players were given more latitude to express themselves through their footwear. Players can choose from a broad variety of colors and patterns for their shoes today, and some even work with sneaker companies to develop their own custom pairs. The NBA's continual efforts to strike a balance between the requirement for a professional image and the need for individual expression are reflected in the sneaker color prohibition, which may seem like a minor matter. The league will ultimately decide how to market itself to fans and the general public, as well as where that balance rests. Number 3. Years later, in the 1990s, the NBA had to deal with a brand new issue regarding player safety: taking fingers to prevent injuries or to strengthen their grasp on the ball. Several players would take their fingers together or one at a time. League authorities were worried that the tape would end up being more dangerous than helpful and endanger both the player and other players on the floor. Because of this, the NBA outlawed finger taping, which infuriated some players. They claimed that the tape was essential for injury prevention and that the prohibition was discriminatory and pointless. The league, however, remained steadfast in its position and insisted that player safety was its primary priority. The finger taping ban may seem like a small issue, but it reflects the NBA's ongoing commitment to player safety and the importance of balancing that with the need for fair play. As the league continues to evolve, it is likely that other similar issues will arise, and the NBA will need to adapt and respond accordingly. Number 4. During the 1990s, the NBA underwent significant changes as the league's popularity and the recognition of its players in popular culture grew. As a result, the league started to focus more on the appearance of its players. One area that came under scrutiny was the way in which players wore their jerseys. Typically, basketball jerseys were tucked into shorts. However, some players began to wear their jerseys untucked, which some league members considered unprofessional. Consequently, the NBA banned tucking in jerseys. The ban was met with mixed reactions from players, with some feeling that it was an unnecessary restriction on their personal style, while others felt that it was a positive step towards promoting professionalism in the league. However, the ban was ultimately short-lived. and the NBA eventually relaxed its policy on tucking in jerseys. Today, players are allowed to wear their jerseys tucked or untucked, as long as they comply with certain guidelines regarding length and fit. The tucking in ban may seem like a minor issue, but it reflects the NBA's ongoing efforts to maintain a professional appearance, and to balance that with the need to allow players to express themselves on the court. Number 5. During the 1990s, the NBA prohibited players from wearing religious apparel, with messages or symbols during games to remain neutral and prevent conflicts related to religion. The ban included headbands, wristbands, and any other religious apparel that players might wear. However, this decision was met with controversy, with some players arguing that it violated their religious freedom. The NBA defended the ban, citing its neutral stance on religious matters and emphasizing that players could still express their beliefs off the court. Despite the controversy, the ban remained in place for several years, but the policy was relaxed in 1998 to allow players to wear black or white religious headwear without any symbols or messages. Currently, players are allowed to wear religious apparel during games, but it must adhere to certain guidelines. The initial ban on overtly religious apparel may have been a source of controversy, but the NBA's ultimate decision to relax its policy and allow for religious expression reflects the league's commitment to inclusivity and respect for all beliefs. Number 6. In 2005, the NBA implemented a ban on headbands that had any type of logo or writing on them. The league's rationale for the ban was that it could be distracting to players and could potentially create an unfair advantage for those wearing them. The ban was met with immediate backlash from players, who saw it as an unnecessary restriction on their personal style. Many players had become known for their unique headband designs, and some even used them as a way to pay homage to their favorite charities or causes. After only a few months, the NBA lifted the ban on headbands with logos or writing on them. The league stated that it had received feedback from players and fans, and had ultimately decided that the ban was not necessary. Today, headbands remain a popular accessory for many NBA players, with some even using them as a way to showcase their personal brand. While the logo and writing ban may have been short-lived, the players' individuality to express themselves once again restored with the lifting of the ban. Number 7. In 2008, the NBA implemented a ban on players wearing towels on their heads during games due to safety concerns, fearing that it could hinder players' vision or become tangled during play. However, the ban was met with backlash from players who saw it as an unfair targeting of those with longer hair or a need to manage sweat. Many argued that wearing a towel on the head was a long-standing tradition in the sport. After just a few weeks, the NBA lifted the ban in response to the widespread criticism. The league admitted that the ban had been too strict and that towels on the head posed little risk to player safety. Today, players are allowed to wear towels on their heads during games, as long as they are securely fastened and do not interfere with the player's vision or movement. The NBA's desire to maintain a professional appearance and the individuality and personal expression of its players. Really, the never-ending clash between two groups has been going on for decades despite the popularity. Number 8. In 2013, the NBA implemented a ban on leg compression sleeves that extended past the knee, which were popular among players for their supposed benefits. The move sparked controversy, with players arguing that the sleeves were necessary for injury prevention and had become a part of their game day attire. Some even claimed that the ban was more about fashion than safety. Despite the backlash, the ban remained in place for several seasons, requiring players to wear sleeves stopping at or below the knee. In 2017, the league loosened the rule, allowing sleeves that extended past the knee, but had to be solid-colored and without logos or designs. Since then, leg compression sleeves have become a standard accessory for NBA players, with many choosing full-length versions. This incident highlights the ongoing tension between player safety and league regulations in professional sports, with safety ultimately prevailing. Number 9. The NBA introduced sleeved jerseys as an alternative to tank tops in 2013, with some players embracing them for the potential benefits to performance and fatigue reduction, while others found them too tight and restrictive. Despite mixed reviews, the NBA enforced the use of sleeved jerseys for several seasons until 2017, when players' complaints about discomfort and lack of mobility prompted the league to lift the requirement and allow players to wear traditional tank tops again. The ban on sleeved jerseys underscores the ongoing tension between player comfort and league regulations in professional sports. While the league sought to innovate with new styles and materials to enhance performance and appeal to a wider audience, some players preferred the comfort of traditional tank tops. Ultimately, the decision to ban sleeved jerseys showed that the NBA values player feedback and is willing to make changes to ensure that players' needs are met. Hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe for more NBA updates like this one. See you in the next video.